Hi there. Welcome to another exciting episode of Eras, Epics, and History. I'm your host, John Ross Fisher, and today is March 4th, which means we are on episode number 4. So, I thought I would start this episode by talking to you a bit about one very important aspect in Irish history and culture, which is Christianity. Now, granted, Ireland today has become very, very diverse. Uh, there's Christians, there's Jews, there's Muslims, there's Sikhs. It's become a very diverse country from what it was thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago, and very much different from what it was 50 to 60 years ago. But when we think of Ireland, we often still think of Christianity and the Catholic Church. And when we think of the Catholic Church, we often think about the saints. And when it comes to Ireland, who's the number one saint? Saint Patrick. This video is not about him. Sorry. No. I do actually have some plans to make a video about St. Patrick, and I definitely will make a video about him, but that I have saved for a little later in the month. Um but Ireland is actually home to a number of saints, and St. Patrick is one of the three patron saints that represents Ireland the most. The other two being St. Bridget of Kildare and St. Colmcille. St. Colmcille, he is he was born around 521 AD. And I will go into St. Bridget of Kildare in another video, but I decided to just make a video about St. Columkill today. So that's whom we're going to be talking about. So St. Columkill was born around 521 AD. He was born into a royal family, actually. His mother, Ethna, was from a royal Leinster family, and his father, Phelim, was from a royal Ulster family. And from a young age, he actually studied under the monks, and one of his teachers was Saint Finian of Moville. And back in those days, often the Irish monks would write down various pieces of literature on the skin of calves. And so Saint Column actually wrote a copy of of a psalter. Now, a psalter is a volume that contains the book of Psalms, and he took this book secretly from St. Finian of Moville, and he made a copy of it. And when St. Finian found out, he demanded that the copy be returned because he felt that the copy should go with the book. St. Column didn't agree with him, so they went to the High King at the time. Couldn't find the name, but what I can tell you is that the High King, this was actually a substantial event in world history and legal world history, because it is said that the High King heard their dispute and then made what is regarded as the world's first copyrighting rule. What he said was that basically, to every cow belongs its calf, and to every book belongs its copy. And basically, what that meant was, Columkill, you're wrong, I'm siding with St. Finian. So Columkill didn't like this, and he went back up north, and he assembled an army. And this army of warriors went to fight the king, and they were defeated. And there were about 3,000 deaths in all on both sides. And so around 565 AD, Columkill was brought before a church synod, where it was decreed that as punishment for going against the king, he was to be exiled. And exile in those days was the equivalent of martyrdom. And the idea was for him to leave Ireland forever and to make amends for the 3,000 deaths that occurred in that battle. He was to convert as many to Christianity. So he had to go out, find 3,000 souls to convert to Christianity. So he got together 12 companions and they set sail for Iona, which is a small island off the western coast of Scotland. And it was in Iona that he created a monastery. And this monastery actually is his most famous monastery. He founded others in places in Ireland like Kerry and Sword and Kell, but Iona was the most famous, and because a lot of early records about Ireland were written there, and it actually became the hub of many monasteries that were set up throughout Scotland, Ireland, and the north of England. Now, a couple fun facts about Colmcille. His name actually means dove of the church. And basically, it is said that there's a book out there, the Katak. And the Katak, I believe that's how it's pronounced. I was trying to find what the correct pronunciation was, but I unfortunately could not. So we'll go with Katak. So the Katak is said to be that same copy of the book he took from St. Finian and copied. And it actually is considered to be Ireland's oldest manuscript. I also don't know where it's located in Ireland, but I know it's somewhere there. Anyway, along with St. Patrick and St. Bridget of Kildare, he's considered to be one of the three patron saints of Ireland. So I just thought I would give you a short introduction to whom he was and what he did, because basically Iona, the monastery he founded in Scotland, like I said, it became like a model for many other monasteries throughout the British Isles, and those monasteries helped to develop the significance of Christianity and convert many different populations to the religion. And it's actually and another fun fact is that in Scotland, Colmcille is actually known as Saint Columba. Why, I don't know, but that's what they call him. And basically, he is credited throughout the British Isles with helping to bring about Christianity and helping to spread it, along with St. Patrick and St. Bridget of Kildare. I'll tell you a little bit about St. Bridget of Kildare. There wasn't much I found in my book. What I can tell you is that she's considered the Mary of the Irish, and she's considered a model for women in the early Celtic church. And her feast day is February 1st, and what they do is, to honor her, many people will make crosses out of rushes. She's associated with many legends, myths, and miracles throughout Ireland. You know, a couple of things I learned in general about church life in Ireland is that the churches in Ireland were not like the stone buildings that you see today there, or throughout continental Europe back then. You know, the churches were made of wood usually, and usually it was like a couple of huts enclosed around surrounding a monastery in some kind of enclosure. And the monks and the nuns, they lived together in communities, growing their own food and writing down various pieces of literature, some of which, what's interesting is that the monks and nuns, even though they were living this religious life, not only did they study religious texts, but they also studied secular texts daily. And it's just a lot of interesting information, and actually, it's the monks and nuns. I said this in episode 3, but it's the monks who were right who were responsible for helping to keep alive many myths and folklore and tradition that came from Celtic Ireland. They were the ones who wrote about the Celts, and it's because of their writings that we know what we know about the Celts, since they didn't have since they left no written accounts of their life and their culture. Uh, but yeah, in regards to Saint Colmcille, I don't know when he died. If anybody can tell me that, that would be great. You know, if not, I'm sure I'll come across it at some point. But I can tell you that he really cultivated what for centuries and over a millennia became a central part of Ireland, which is its Christian faith and heritage. So yeah, just thought I would make an episode dedicated to St. Columkill. Anyway, please, if you like this episode, share it, and please follow me for more exciting episodes and more about the rich and wonderful culture of Ireland in eras, epics, and history. If you have any suggestions or comments about a video that I should make, please don't hesitate to message me, or even just put it in the comment below this video. Anyway, yeah, that's it for now. So thank you for joining in, and tune in tomorrow. I'm going to be telling you a bit more about Irish myths, including a very famous story about a well-known name that is actually used today for a couple of Irish pubs throughout North America. I'll see you then.